And we're live. Beautiful. Love alive. Love alive. Introduce yourself first. Introduce yourself.
Okay, so first, my name is Justen Augustine. I'm actually located in United States, Florida, and big avid reader. I think that's how we kind of got connected through Ben, just a mutual following, and big into fitness. I can see you're into it a little bit too.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of reading right now, going for I think 80 this year. Last year was like 23. And
Wow.
I'm loving it, loving learning. Like it just feels like I'm constantly getting better, constantly getting more relaxed, constantly getting more peaceful. Just from the more I know, and then people. Like I feel like understanding people is kind of one of the things that hindered me the most. Which I kind of stick by this one saying is if you hate something, you really don't understand it, or there's something that you might not understand. So when I hate on someone, I'm like, okay, there's something I may not understand about this person. Other than that, I do run a social media marketing agency. It just started maybe a few months ago, and I am a licensed realtor. I sell every now and then. Last month, sold a couple condos, and the past year only sold, I think, 3 to 3 properties. No, 3 properties, and then found one rental for somebody. But it's crazy because that whole first year was just fear driven, but now it's making a lot more sense. But that's pretty much me. I'm 19, halfway in college, taking a break, taking a little semester off, and we'll go from there and see what's happening. But enjoying the process, enjoying the business, enjoying reading, enjoying learning, enjoying connecting.
Yeah, I mean, I love the process of connecting. That's the biggest thing for me. Something to take into consideration. You say you're 19 and you're already on this path of, positivity, mindset, books, which is great. At 19, I think I was either drunk on drugs or on a night out. I just wasn't interested in nothing at 19 other than those temporary highs.
Exactly.
So for you, it's starting a lot earlier than a lot of the people I see, and including myself at 19. For sticking on the right path at a young age.
Yeah, I feel like the book kind of just hit me the most was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah, big mind shift. I don't know if you think the same, but that kind of just made everything everything everyone else thought, like all the traditional pathways, it just kind of crapped on them and said, no, have you ever even thought like this? Once I heard that, I was like, okay, this is a new world. This is this is a new side of things, and it's crazy.
I mean, I was in a glass factory for 3 years, and then one of my bosses said, you should read this book called The Goal. And I kind of read it, didn't take it in, and I didn't really appreciate books. And then, like you say, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it's easy to read. It's a novel, you can get into the story. But when you finish reading it, or as you're reading it, you're like, oh, shit, this is so true.
Everything makes sense. Everything in that book makes sense. That's crazy. That book. That book impacted you just as much, man.
Yeah, I mean, you get to the point where he's growing up and he gets those first lessons when he's talking to the rich dad, and you're like, shit, yeah, the kid's a kid and he's still learning stuff, and you look at it like, why didn't I listen as a kid, man? And then Ben said to me earlier from Ben's Business Book Club, he said to me, what's your 3 favorite books? And it had to be Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And The Compound Effect.
I'll say it one more time. Froze up a little bit.
It had to be Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Ben asked me which book's my favorite, and I said Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Compound Effect, and the third one is right now. It's The Power of Now.
Dang, I haven't ordered that one yet. But the first two, I definitely liked. Compound Effect just it made everything. It made kind of persistence. It kind of made it stick with me a little bit more. It was just like, just keep doing it. People will notice it before you do. And I kind of say that to most of my clients. People will notice your change in results before you even do. I'm like, what? And that book kind of just solidified it. But I would say my top three would be Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think 10X Rule and Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 10X Rule. Do that. There's one more. Where is it? Oh, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
That's a good book.
I don't know.
I got that one there. Yeah, I got that
one. Yeah, that one. I don't know. Yeah, that one for people, I guess. I don't know. Sheesh.
But yeah, I mean, you wanted to talk about failing. And yeah, I mean, for me, failing, as you say, it's scary at first. But then when you realize that failing's more of a blessing rather than a hindrance, it's more of motivation. You know, how have you found failing at the beginning, sort of?
So at first, like you said, scary. It hurts because most of the time when I failed to the public, and
yeah.
So they see me fail and they're just trying to ask questions. They're trying to see how I'm doing, and most oftentimes when they do ask questions, oh, how's this going? Knowing that you failed or you didn't do too well at it. And you have to make up some sort of excuse, and you got to BS yourself and say, oh, well, and make something an excuse, right? Oh, I'm too young. Maybe it's the market. I don't know. So I'm hiding the excuse. So that kind of, and a year later, I'm complaining about it and about that, everyone asking me. And then I started to realize, I was like, dude, take responsibility for that, because you're the dummy that put it out there and didn't put enough action in to make it great. So I was like, wow. Then I feel like it was a blessing because in high school, I played basketball. First 3 years, I kept playing, was supposed to make varsity my junior year, ended up losing my spot to a couple of dudes that weren't as good as me, and more than likely had the potential to be on varsity my junior year. That whole summer was just pissed because everyone's like, why are you on JV? Why are you on junior varsity? Why are you on junior varsity? Next thing you know, practicing in the summer every day, compounding, all the actions compounding. I get better and better. Come back, people are like, dude, you're so different. You play so different. What happened? And I didn't notice it, but they noticed it way before I did. So I feel like that kind of set in stone how when you fail, you really just have to get back up and keep going, because it slaps you in the face. It shows you like you kind of underestimated the amount of action it'll take to be good at that or succeed at what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. It is scary at first. I failed by default by not even trying. So for a long time, I'd say for a good 10 years, I wasted my life on drink, drugs, and anger, and then blamed everybody. I didn't try. I didn't try to get a promotion. I didn't try and change my job. I didn't try and change my mindset. Wow. But in that sense, you fail by default for not trying.
What kind of set that? What's that? How'd you know? Like, how'd you know you just weren't taking enough action or you weren't doing enough?
Because I kept saying that I need to change my job, and then 4 years later, I'm still in the same job. Like, it doesn't take 4 years to change a job.
No. Were there any influencers, like someone that kind of like I said, I kind of say it slapped me in the face or punched me in the face? That was just like snap, everything changed.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was scared to fail. I was scared of, rejection. I was scared of not fitting in. So, essentially I failed by default, and it was 4 years in a sports direct shop. It was 3 years in a factory. And all this time, instead of trying to do anything, I'm essentially making myself fail because I'm scared to try. So like you said, it is that fear. And then one day it hits you and you're like, I've got to try something. And when you do it and you fail, or you do it and you succeed, you're like, shit, that weren't so bad. That's okay. I'm gonna fail again.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I could not imagine. And that's another thing. The fear of not trying. Like, I never even thought of that as failure. Like, until you said that, and I'm like, now it's starting to make sense. Where regret of not doing something sooner, knowing you were capable of years and years ago, that hurts. That hurts me, because I'm like, wow, that's a waste. I wasted that time by not learning, by not doing what I should have been done, by not taking action, by not taking the jump. Everything, and if I'm sure you can agree on this, everything you're doing now, you probably could have done maybe 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Well, I'm 30 now. I don't look 30.
You look slim, man. Slim and fit, man.
I guess that's the healthy lifestyle I've got now.
Exactly.
But if I would have done it in the 10 years I wasted, so from about 16 up to 26, I just washed it away. That's 16 to 26. It was drink, drugs, failing by default because I didn't try, and anger. But if I would have started at 16, doing what I'm doing now, you can guarantee at 16 to 30, all that time hustling, learning, growing, connecting, I would have had, 2 yachts, a Lamborghini, and a whole lot less stress and maybe a few less gray hairs.
Yeah.
But just by throwing all those time away because of that lack of trying, because of the fear of failure.
Exactly. So I said it earlier about taking responsibility. So when you hear this quote, like what do you think of? Change your response to failure by accepting responsibility.
That's deep. I like that. I like quotes. So I'm big on self-awareness now. I wasn't years ago. But now I'm big on self-awareness. So if I one of my biggest downfalls or vices is chocolate. Like, I love chocolate, but if I eat chocolate, I know if I eat it at nighttime, I'm not getting up early because it's me staying up late watching a movie and chocolate.
Exactly.
If that's my fault, no one else's. If I get a takeaway, that's my fault, no one else's. So, like your quote is, it's a lot of taking responsibility is down to self-awareness.
Because once you know,
it's huge. I keep telling people, there's friends of mine that are in jail and family, and I always say to them, just look at self-awareness. Please look at self-awareness, because it's the biggest thing for me in everything I do now. I blame myself for every single thing.
Same, everything.
And it helps you grow because you're blaming yourself, so you can see your setbacks, your defaults, whether you did or didn't get the client.
Exactly.
And like I say, for those 10 years, I blamed everybody else. Not only was that kind of stupid, but it gives away the guilt and the power to somebody else.
Exactly.
So I'm not where I want to be because it's my boss's fault. That's some bullshit right there, because my boss could replace me in a day. I was a shit employee.
Sheesh.
Looking back at me then, I wouldn't employ me. So there's me as an employee blaming him for my wages that I'm spending on alcohol. And that's self-awareness.
Yep, that is. Hold on, I think someone's ringing the doorbell. Give me a second.
No worries. Hey, look, it's my first Lonely Live. Imagine I could reach over and just grab one of the books. Hey, that's a nice book. That cracked me up.
It kind of made it stick with me a little bit more. It was just like, apologize. That's that's ridiculous. Like I can't even imagine that. Like what was going through your head, other than like you saying you were blaming people when you made that switch? What was going through your head when you were finally like, okay, I'm done, I leave? Like what were you thinking once you left?
Once I left kind of the old lifestyle.
Yeah, pretty much when you left the job.
I got fired.
Oh, you got fired. Wow.
Yeah, I got fired. My business now is social media marketing and videography.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got fired from the glass factory because of social media comments.
Wow. What? That is how does that, you see the correlation?
Yeah, I mean, you'd never think it. So for me, it was a kick up the ass to actually change. Like I got fired from there. I needed another job, so I went into a bit of a kind of labor and building work. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I went into another retail. But I slowly kind of got myself out of work. I was like, all these years in employment, I'm a terrible employee. It's very clear to me that I'm no good. So I think the big revelation for me was wasting 10 years. And then one night out in another town, we was going to go out and we was going to spend £200 on alcohol and, you know, all the kind of nightclub and all that. Mm-hmm. And there was 2 homeless people on the right-hand side of the road. So then there was a fish and chip shop on the left-hand side of the road. I was ready to waste £200 on, you know, drink, drugs, and a messy night out. But £20 of that could have just fed 2 homeless people. Wow. So that was a big revelation for me. It ruined my night out. I argued. It played on my mind. And then the following day, I went and bought hats, scarves, gloves, food, water. I filled up 2 duffel bags. And the following weekend, I went back. And for the first time in my life, I actually helped somebody else. And I helped about 20 homeless people. And the feeling I got from that was it. That's what redirected my life. I was like, wow, so many people were saying bless you, so many people were saying well done, so many people were giving me good feeling comments, and I felt good about myself because obviously the chemicals are released when you take drinking drugs are the same chemicals that are released when you help someone. They're endorphins, your serotonin, all these chemicals that are released when you do something you like are released when you actually help someone. And I didn't know that back then. And that kind of gave me the kick up the arse. And that's when I really was like, okay, self-awareness.
Just keep looking. So I got one question. What advice would you give to someone that's maybe that was in that similar position? They feel like, oh, I'm gonna leave. They're just too scared to make the decision to leave, or like you said, maybe you got fired, but that decision that you're like, okay, I'm gonna stop wasting time and I'm gonna start doing what I want with my time and not letting everyone else control my destiny and control where I'm at. Yeah,
I mean, for a lot of people, it's scary because most people I talk to now, they're like, I can't leave my job. I got bills, which is fine. Everybody's got bills, but I see it as more of a seesaw effect. Like, here's your job, and here's what you want to do. Right now, your job's weighing you down, and what you want to do, you're never going to get down. Mm-hmm. So what you need to do is kind of balance it out. So, you know, you start a side hustle, as Gary Vee says, and until that kind of income or that movement gets momentum, then you can start reducing your job. Or if you get enough that you might struggle for a bit but still pay your bills, fuck the job off. Exactly. You've got your you start building when you're still in a job. You start building when you're still employed. And I would say to anybody now, just start it on the weekends. Start it with your evenings. And like you're doing now, and like I do with so many people now, just that connecting, the mindsets around you is big, the influence.
Hmm. Hmm. So where were you at, like, at that time? Like, when you were partying and going out and drinking drugs, like, where were you at? Like, where was your head at? Like, were you just bored? Like, what do you think?
Um, I caught a live like this with Jerick Robbins,
Mm-hmm.
Tony Robbins' son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I said to him the same thing that you're sort of asking me. A lot of my friends now, they still, they want to go drink all the time. They still want to go do drugs all the time, and none of them really want to read. None of them want to do any self-development. None of them want to take online courses. And it's the same sort of mindset I was in. So I said to him the same as you're saying me, why won't they read? Why won't they do that? What was going through their head? What was going through my head? And Tony Robbins kind of explained it to me, and it helped me reflect on what I was doing. So for me, I was, say, at that time when I was doing drugs, I was getting arrested all the time as well. I was about 2 steps away from jail. I just wanted to get to that next high, the next temporary high. It was, I feel great because I got these drugs. Next night, I feel terrible. I better take some more drugs. Hey, I feel great again. Next night, it gets to the Monday. I want to do drink drugs and I want to go party. On the Tuesday, I've got less money and I've run out of drinking drugs. Like, I'm back down again. So by the Wednesday, I'm like, hey, I need drink drugs and I need a party. So I'm back up again. And it's like that roller coaster lifestyle. So you're always looking for those temporary highs, and people are kind of confused because they feel like they're having fun at that point. But, there's been psychological tests that say that you're not having fun. You're drowning out what you really need to think about. So when we go listen to loud music in the clubs, it doesn't help us have fun, but it does stop us thinking about the shit job, the shit money, the shit lifestyle, because we're drowning it out.
I completely understand that. The whole time while you're talking, I was thinking of pretty much everything else I've heard, like, kind of that's similar to that, and it makes so much sense.
Yes.
It just hides it, and the crazy thing is, it's like an obsession, because I just read "Be Obsessed or Be Average" by Grant Cardone, and that pretty much that's an obsession. That feeling that they keep getting, that's an obsession. So as long as they can replace that feeling of high they get from going out to the club, drinking, doing that, all smoking, all that stuff, if they can replace that with maybe a hobby, or a side gig, this is going up, because you're putting crazy amounts of energy and you're obsessed with the high you get from working on whatever your side thing or your little hobby. And it's crazy, because it's like there's nothing wrong with them. It's just they're chasing the feeling.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was doing. Like you say, what was going through my mind? The only thing going through my mind was, I feel good when I'm partying, so I must try and party all the time.
All the time.
And that's, essentially you're chasing those temporary highs, those temporary happiness. But most of the time you're kind of depressed and angry, because I hated how much I got paid. When I got paid, I spent it on drink and drugs. There's no way I'm ever going to increase my money that way.
No. And people do that, the same thing with social media, I believe. I read from 5 Second Rule. Pretty much they'll distract themselves. Say they got to wash the dishes, right? It's maybe not that important, but say like, oh, I'm going to wash the dishes today. They get on social media, start swiping. They're like, oh my God, start laughing. They just keep getting the feeling, oh, I want to laugh again. I want to laugh again. I want to laugh again. Next thing you know, it's nighttime. They still haven't even touched the dishes. So this social media thing is a distraction for some people. It's a distraction from your life of, I still got to do that. I still got to do that. I'm going to put that off because I need this to distract me, because it's so much and so much things to do. And it's crazy. I think I might have heard, what was the saying? Oh, give anything you have to do, give it to the busy guy, as they always get it done. They're not gonna procrastinate. They're gonna get it done. They see the deadline, and that's it.
I mean, the social medias, a lot of people don't see it as an addiction, but I'd say it's one of the biggest addictions, because if you take somebody, I wrote a book. Have I got it up here? No, I don't have it. I wrote a social media book.
I gotta get a copy. What is it called? Oh, I think it's on your Facebook, right?
It won't be on my page. It'll be on my business page, which is Modified Media. But it's called Simple Social Business. I'll inbox you the link. But in that, it talks about phononomia, which is a condition that people get if their phone is running out of battery, they don't have signal, or their phone goes dead. And it's a form of anxiety that people get because they can't access their phone or the internet or other people. And that's crazy to think that a form of anxiety comes from your addiction to social media.
Wow. That's the first time I'm hearing that. And sheesh.
I mean, even for myself, I must check my phone loads of times, not only because my business is online, but it's an addiction for all of us. Pick it up, have a look, put it down. 5 minutes later, we'll pick it up, have a look, scroll to what we've seen before. Nothing's changed. I'll put it back down. And then we'll pick it up later, go to what we've seen before, and we'll only go to what we last seen. We won't go no further. We won't go. And some people, they get so bad as they actually refresh it as they're on it. Like, what are you waiting for?
I've seen that happen multiple times. Waiting. Oh, yeah. Man.
And if you take into consideration the compound of how much time people are on their phone, they could have learned a new skill. They could have paid for a new course online. They could have picked up a new book, changed their life, changed their career. And back then, if I would have invested that time and money into me, I wouldn't be where I am now. And that's the compound effect. Mobile phones, as Eric Thomas says, are killing you. It's costing you your future. By sitting on the phone, that is costing you your future.
That's it. Like you said, that time could be put somewhere else. And one of the major questions I get is, how do I read so much? And I'm like, if you honestly just took out 30 minutes, 45 minutes a day, you would hit a book a week. I feel like you would hit at least or near a book a week if you were to take out 45 minutes to an hour a day just to read a book. And it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's like Jarek said to me, I keep trying to influence my friends and family around me. Some of them will say, I feel down. Some of them say I'm upset. Some of them say I'm depressed. Some of them will say I want to change my job. And I'll say, just read a book or just go to the gym. Reading the book will change your mindset, and the gym will change your body chemistry for more positive outlook, giving you more energy and make you want to do more. And a lot of them will say, I haven't got time. Bro, I don't have more than 24 hours. You got 24, I've got 24. I don't have 27 hours in a day.
Exactly. You make time for what you want. And man, I because that same excuse, like, or someone will be like, I don't like to read. I'm like, listen to audio. I can't hear. Yeah. I don't like to hear. Okay, you shouldn't even be on this planet. But I this is what I think has changed me past couple months is I stopped giving advice to people who aren't receptive to it or open to it, just because I feel like I'm their therapist and they're not paying me for that. I'm just giving them advice, and they're gonna take it one ear and out the other, and then 5 years later they're gonna be like, "Oh, I remember you told me that like 5 years ago. Now I'm doing it now." It's like, that feels. I'm awesome. I feel great.
I mean, I did say it to Jarek, and Jarek said they're not ready. And it took me 10 years to be ready. So I could be telling somebody for the next 5 years, read a book. They're not going to be ready for that new information. In 5 years, when they really, really, really hate their job or really, really hate their life, they'll be like, I need some information. Then they'll be ready. But they have to get to that peak to be not ready, to be ready for the new information. Because right now they're just pushing their peaks up and down. Go party, go to work, go to the gym, go to the shop, go party, go work, gym, shop, go see your boyfriend, girlfriend. That's it. That's their little cycle.
And you know, you have to be. It looks like you have to be in a crap situation to actually like change. Like you have to receive a lot of pain or some sort of traumatic pain to change. Like nowadays.
Yeah, and you need a lot of pain, but I think a lot of people get a lot of pain, and the first thing they do is kind of play the victim card. Like, this shouldn't happen to me. This is not my fault. This is, you know, how can this happen? But then they're not self-aware of that pain that's being caused by themselves. So it's easier to pass the blame. You know, ignore the pain, pass the blame. And I did it for about 10 years.
Sheesh. You know, as long as you know now, right? That's like, I feel like that's like the path, and that path stuff is really like set in stone nowadays. Is it's gonna hit you, but you just don't know when, right? Or like you're not gonna know when it's gonna hit you. But yeah, man.
It's hard because I would love to save everyone, because if the people that you spoke to and said, you know, read a book, go to the gym, if they did it,
oh,
come back to you in a month and they'll be like, oh my God.
They'll be on their knees.
Yeah, you saved my life, thank you. But most of them are, nah, I don't want to do it. Nah, I ain't got time. Nah, I don't want to do it. Nah, I'd rather complain about it, not change it, and then I'll complain some more, and then I'll pass the blame.
Yeah. Especially, and it's crazy because books that, like you say, your top 3 books, those top 3 books like hit you, right? They had to affect you a lot in some way to be top 3. So when I give people my top 5 or my top 3 or my favorite, I'm like, dude, this will literally change you. Like it changed me. I was like, it's gonna, trust me, it's gonna change you. You have to read this book. And it sucks because time, this, that. And I'm like, I'm not gonna sell you on reading this book because yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna sell you on reading this book, but you have to crack it open. And I was like, do you want me to be there babysitting you, watching over you while you read it?
Yeah.
And then it's ridiculous.
I mean, it's crazy. I've given away a lot of books that I've read because I'll say to somebody, read this book, here, take it, read it. And then, you know, I've never got the book back, but I'm pretty sure that it's just being used under a table leg or something because the person's still complaining.
Oh my gosh. And okay, so look, for this one, this is what, when I think about when people ask me to borrow my book, and I'm willingly want to give people my books. I'm like, dude, this will hit you, this will hit you. But I'm starting to realize there has to be some sort of commitment, some sort of money, right, committed to it. So when I talk to people, I'm like, okay, read this book. Oh, do you have it? Could you lend me it? I was like, dude, the book's only $3. On Discover Books, there's this website. It's only $3 to $4.
Oh wow.
$3 to $4 will not change your life 5 years from now, or $15 will not change your life 5 years from now. $150 will not change your life. $1,500 will not change your life 5 years from now. So it's just getting onto these courses and books and stuff like that. So I only lend it to certain people that I'm like, okay, I know they're an avid reader. I know they enjoy this. But people that you don't even want to spend $15 on a book, but you want to borrow it.
Yeah, to put it under.
It under the shed.
It's essentially letting somebody borrow the book. They'll take it home and be like, "Yeah, cool."
I was about to do that. He's like, "Thanks, man."
Like, yeah, thanks. I got a new placemat. Like, that's cool. And you know they haven't read it because they don't come back with you like, "Yeah, wow, that changed me. Yeah, wow, that's impressive." Yeah. It's just like, "Yeah, I read a bit of it, but I ran out of time." Yeah. But did you see Game of Thrones? Like, how the fuck do you run out of time then? Like, I don't understand how people can say, I ran out of time, I haven't got time. We all got 24 hours, but people want to say that I haven't got the time. But then you'll ring them up or you talk to them and they're like, yeah, I'm watching this new series. I'm 4 episodes in. That's 4 hours of the evening gone.
Yeah. There was just some crazy statistics about that, like about TV, standing at traffic lights, how much you sleep and how much you work. And that starts to like set in stone with me. I think one of them was You spend like a couple. It was like a couple years or a few years or something like that at traffic lights.
Oh.
I'm like, my life is really getting taken by a traffic light.
It's crazy, and then that's part of the compounding.
Yeah.
And I know people who be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch, or I see it on Facebook a lot. Yeah, I'm looking for a new series to watch. But didn't you just watch the other series? Yeah, I spent all Saturday watching it, all Sunday watching it. Like, what do you mean? Like, would you couple hours? Nah, I shut the blind. I stay in the house for 10 hours in a row.
whole thing. And I'm so bad because this was me in high school. This was me in high school, just on there. And I don't know, it's you get a feeling too, because I know you feel guilty. You have to, because I felt guilty and I'm in high school. I'm like, dang, I should be outside practicing. Like I gotta make the team, right? I gotta get better. And I'm over here watching Teen Wolf, or I'm over here watching some girly sitcom with some popcorn and laying in bed.
And that's exactly what my mindset was. I mean, one of the mindsets, or one of my biggest failures, it is 100% my fault. Now I can see it. Exactly. But I used to agree with driving instructors, because I'm not sure about over there, but over here you have to pass a theory, then you do the practical.
Mm-hmm. Same.
The theory, when you pass the theory, it only lasts 2 years. If you don't pass your practical by then, you have to do the theory. So you got a 2-year gap. I've passed the practical 3 times. It took me 6 years to do I passed the theory 3 times. It took me 6 years, and every 2 years I had to redo the theory because I kept quitting. I kept blaming my instructor. I kept stopping and starting my lessons. So, and what I kept telling people is I don't have time and I don't have money. I would go out partying and spend my money. So those 6 years that I could have been driving was my fault, but I was happy to blame somebody else for the time and the money. And that's the prime example of, wasted time and money.
Wasted, man. Wasted. Shh. Jeez.
So, Ben's Business Book Club. Are you in Ben's Business Book Club?
Oh, yes. On the Facebook group?
Yeah, that's amazing in there.
Yeah, man. I go over there. I check in like once a week just to see how many people drop, like if they dropped any good books. And I'll just write it down right on my list and then go from there. Right now, I just finished Richest Man in Babylon.
Oh, that's a good book. I like that.
Money Principles was ridiculous. And about to start Siddhartha. My friend is actually recommending me a little bit of old kind of, I want to say like humanistic books, spiritual, human habits and stuff like that. Some of the books that I'm kind of getting into now is more like, I kind of say Bruce Lee books. Like if that sounds like warrior, like peace-minded.
That's like the power of now. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. Exactly. Just getting peace with myself. And then I'm probably going to go back to psychology and then back to business and then back to whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm on this little peace wave right now. You're finishing up. You say you're finishing up Power Now, right?
Yeah, I'm halfway through now, the Power of Now. It's a strange one because it wants you to do stuff that you're not used to, which I think is really good. But disconnecting from your own mind is hard because you want to think all the time. So I found it really enlightening in aspects of it. But I know Ben said to me recently, because we caught a live, and he said he's looking at more psychology and history as well, because not only is that just self-development, but because you can take so much from psychology and history.
Yes. I'm gonna link. I don't know, maybe you guys already checked, but I'm going to link Gates Notes. So Bill Gates actually has a website with all of his recommended books on there. And Yeah, every 6 months, I believe he'll put out top 5 books of the summer or top 5 books of the winter. And I picked up a couple of what Bill Gates put out, and one of them, no, this was something else I picked up, which was something about, it's a war book. And then Bill Gates put up a book about Sympathizer. So, like you saying, like it's pretty much stories and history that you could learn more from than kind of books that just give you the tactical information and say like, oh, do this, and then there's no meaning behind it. But I know we probably read like similar books, me and Ben, me and you, and yeah, you guys got to check out Gates Notes. There's a lot of history, psychology, Picasso, Van Gogh, like just books like you're like, what, these guys were crazy. And that's what I'm starting to notice each book I'm reading. I'm like, these guys were completely crazy. They were obsessed, pretty much. That's how I meant with crazy.
Yeah.
But what are you on now? Like what kind of, I guess, themes are you on now? Or you're just reading like, okay, I'm going to read this and I'm going to read that?
I want to control my mind more because I have so much going on, but sometimes I just want to disconnect and kind of reevaluate and refocus in a more channeled way. So I'll have a lot of tasks to do, and instead of getting one done, calming down, doing one, I kind of juggle a few and then get one done, get that done. Or I have a day where 2 or 3 tasks are done, and then I'm like, right, I've got to set myself up to meet 3 more tasks. So I thought, what better way to then enlighten and control my own mind to help myself focus by looking at my mind from a first-person perspective. So I thought the Power of Now will help me do that.
You said the Power of Now, is it's more of action-based book, or is it there's some psychology behind it or a principle behind it?
I'd say it's all kind of spiritual and psychological. It's about disconnecting from your thoughts. Seeing, don't seek yourself in the mind. It kind of tells you to. A lot of it tells you to step back from your emotions, from your fear. So instead of at the time feeling fearful, what it says is just step back, look at how you're fearful, see how your body's reacting, see your temperature go up, look at yourself from a third person perspective, and then you'll be able to control it more in the future. And the whole book's about knowing that your body and your mind are not you, it's not your soul. So you can take a step back and look at.
Okay, now I definitely got to get it. I got to see where you're at now. So I actually have a couple credits left on Audible, and I was like, you know what? I got to waste one. I got to waste and you're telling me about this book. Now I'm curious. I only thought, tell me, because it's hard, man, judging a book. What is the author? Eckhart Tolle?
Yeah, Eckhart Tolle. And Ben told me he's brought out another one as well, Eckhart Tolle. And he said that one's better than this one. And I was like, oh man, now I've got to get
that. So yeah, when you said that, the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, because it's hard to judge a book by its cover. Like, in such a simple quote, but it really is, because I look at the titles nowadays, and some best-selling books are actually kind of trash, or some best-selling books, you know what I mean? And it's just like stuff where it's like, oh man, I've read that in that book, and you're telling me the same thing I heard in this one.
It's all down to marketing. I mean, a lot of people will hold up Ciroc bottles, and I've tasted a lot of different vodkas. They all taste like shit.
It's marketing, yeah, like you said. Good title.
Me and Ben spoke about it. Like he said, you can't judge a book by its cover. Like you said, you just can't do it anymore, because nowadays there's so many books being brought out, like either published or self-published, and that's it. They're getting boosted all over social media. They're boosted all over, Facebook. Whatever. Like, oh, that looks like a good book, and then you get it, and you're like, that was shit.
You know what book? I don't know. I don't know if you agree, or I don't know if you read it yet, but where is it? I just read it. just read it. Is it up there? No. Where are you at? Mindset by Carol S. Dweck.
No, I haven't read that one yet.
Do not. I just have to say, I don't get this. This is maybe for like, this is for like starters. Like I honestly believe this is like a starter book. But for people that have already like are avid readers, they kind of read they've read their big, I don't know what it's called, kind of what to say this, but they've read their dozens of self-help books, because there are a lot of self-help books. This is probably the most basic one. So if you're gonna read that, you're gonna know, you're like, dang, he told me this will be basic. And it really is. So I don't have any terrible books. I only have books that I'm like, okay, I'm either grabbing that nugget or I don't want to be like that. So yeah. I'm gonna avoid that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I find it hard buying books. I fell into the trap when I first started buying books. At one time, I didn't actually look at the book. I just seen the title, and I was like, hell yeah, I need that book, because I seen Ty Lopez say everybody should buy it, and it was called Deep Work.
Huh.
It's a good book. But I jumped onto Amazon and I seen the prices, and I seen one really cheap, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm buying that. That's like half the price of everything else.
Yeah.
The book turned up and it's a summary of the book. So it was like a miniature version. I was like, oh man, I just got ripped off.
Wow.
So they sell books now of summaries of books. So like you can't just jump in there now.
So you said it was a lesser price, or it was the same price as most books?
Lesser. So I jumped on there and I was like, hey, deep work, I need to find it. And then I seen this price and it was like half price. And I was like, that's it. That's the book. I'm buying it. You know, Amazon Prime, next day, the book turns up and it's about 20 pages long. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how have I bought a book that's, you know, like a pamphlet?
Yep. Oh my gosh. I bought, yeah, and it's crazy. I don't know why that happened. I was searching up really quick. I bought this book called Dianetics by Ron. On a Spanish version of Dianetics.
Oh wow.
Thick book too, in Spanish. Whole time in my head, I'm like, really? Like, what was I thinking? El bestseller. I'm like, okay, I should know next time. So I'm like, I'm gonna learn Spanish regardless. So I, next thing you know, I want to check that out. But are there any? By the way, are there any languages that you want to learn soon, or in this one life you have?
Yeah, I'd like to learn a language. I mean, I'd like to learn maybe Turkish, because I really like Turkey. I've been there on holiday a few times, and it's just such a nice place. Yeah, I mean, that's the only one I've kind of looked at, and I looked at Spanish because it's one of the easiest to learn.
Yeah.
Some of it relates to Turkish anyway. Some of the language in Spanish.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it does take a lot of time and effort to learn that.
How far is Turkish from you?
Sorry?
How far is Turkish from you?
4 hours on a plane.
Oh, it's not too bad.
No.
For me, it's a good like 10, I believe 10 to 12.
Yeah, where are you? Florida?
Yeah. Turkey. Sure, I'll find it right now. Oh wow. 14 hours round trip. Yeah, so that's a little jump. I know you're close to a lot of good areas, man. You're close. I want to go to Ibiza soon.
I did some party destinations. Ibiza was on my list until I started to learn and move away from the drink drug lifestyle. And I was like, I cannot stand in Ibiza while all these people are getting high and none of them read.
None of them. That's ridiculous.
And I would have fitted in years ago, and I'm like, yeah, get fucked up. Yeah, let's get fucked up. And then I look at it now when I go out or I see people drinking or doing drugs all the time. I'm like, I wonder if they've got any goals or ambition.
Oh my gosh, you can't even ask that at a party. It's crazy.
No.
They look at you stupid.
Yeah, they look at you stupid for being smart. Like, what the fuck?
He's like, what are you talking about? My goals, man. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Yeah, I'm gonna get another beer in a minute. That's my goal.
That's my goal. My short-term goal, my long-term goal.
Yeah. Like, if you wanna find out my goals, ask me at 3 a.m. when I'm being sick in the toilet. That's a sick goal.
Exactly. But I did not know that. It is really just generally a party island.
Ibiza, yeah. I mean, they probably do have some nice places, but Ibiza, Malia, Sunny Beach, Magaluf, they're all like big party destinations. I went to Malia, and it was coming on. I already picked up self-development, so when I went to Malia, and there was like, you know, all these younger people, I'd say like just hit 18 or around that age.
Wow.
They're all shouting at like 2 a.m. like, hey! I'm like, what the fuck are you shouting for? Like, why are you shouting? They're like, hey, let's go out. I'm like, bro, what do you mean let's go out? It's 2 a.m. What the fuck? I need to get up in the morning.
That is bad. I did not know that. That is bad. I looked at it from the angle of four-wheelers and stuff like that. But I'm like, okay, I can do that in Mexico then. Yeah, I gotta travel that far. If that's a mainly party state, I feel like Mexico's a little bit more calm than that.
Yeah, Mexico. But then again, Mexico's on its way up for a little party place. Where was that? Yeah. They had that Geordie Shore.
Oh, Jersey Shore. Yeah, Cancun.
That's it, Cancun. Yeah.
That's the party area. I think they have some other quiet areas where they do more villas than hotels and party in South Beach type of Ibiza type of island.
See, I don't mind partying. You know, I still get fucked up. I still do that, but I do want to be around people who've got some goals and stuff. Like when we're drinking and talking, I don't want to be just bobbing my head, like just trying to feel like nobody's talking. Like I still want to get fucked up, but let's talk while we do it. Let's communicate.
Exactly. And that's funny that you say that. I'm like, I'd rather get effed up with someone that I'm like, okay, I know they're like-minded like me, so we're just having a little fun. Not someone that's having fun every single week, every single Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wow.
All right. Well, I will let you go now. What time is it there?
5 o'clock. 5:09.
Nice. It's 10:09 here.
In the morning.
Yeah, nighttime.
Oh wow, man! It doesn't even look dark in there.
No, it's
I need to get one of those, man. Those umbrellas, right?
I'm a video producer, so.
Oh, you film there?
Yeah, I've got filming here. I got the this is my office.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm a fully qualified carpenter by trade, so I built this office. This is my outside summer house office.
That's freaking awesome, man. This is I would say mine. So this, and then there's a couch right there. Literally, I've been sleeping on that couch for the past 6 days just because now I'm starting to realize like this was like I did it by accident, right? The first day, and I woke up 6 hours later and I'm up. I'm more energetic. I'm like, why am I so energetic? It's freaking 8 o'clock in the morning, and I went to sleep at 3:30, something like that, right? And then I do it again, and I wake up at 7:15, go back to sleep, wake up at 8, and I'm fully energetic. I'm like, okay, there's got to be some BS. I start just thinking. I'm on the computer, or maybe write my goals down. I'm thinking, and I notice when I'm in my bed, I'm a lot more comfortable than when I'm sleeping on a couch. So I was like, that's why I'm too comfortable in that bed. So I've just been on this couch and I'm like, so what? Wake up, straight on the computer, get out the house, come back in here. So it feels like this is like my zone. So I was like, I saw that couch. I was like, I wonder if he slept on that couch before.
It has crossed my mind lately because I keep getting into bed and I get comfortable. And you're like, well, I have to get up. I have to get the energy to go back outside or go do that. And I keep thinking to myself, like, I'm going to sleep on that. It's going to happen soon. But will I get addicted to having more energy and being more productive because I've only slept that far?
Yeah. It's just like you're surrounded. Just, book. Okay. I'm back. Oh, that's crazy. Well, nice talking to you. Is your real name Fatz?
No, my real name Patrick.
Patrick, okay. I was like, please tell, maybe your last name? Where'd you get the idea?
No, it's just a nickname that stuck with me for years, and then it became a stage name for whenever I've been on stage or done live shows or talks. And now everybody just calls me Fatz. Like all professionals, all my clients, they're like, yeah, Fatz.
That's unique.
In my emails, on my business cards, like even my this is my business.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. In the same industry, I've definitely got to order that book, man. Check out that book.
Yeah, definitely, and we send over those links for
oh yeah, I'll do that.
Bill Gates.
Yeah,
that'd be great,
man. Awesome, and especially Ben's getting into more similar books as I am right now.
Hello.
Hello.
We cut out there. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Send me the link, by the way, for the simple social.
Oh, the book I wrote.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I'll send the link over to you.
Definitely gonna pick that up. And oh, that's crazy, dude. How did you do that? You posted it recently for Ben, you and Ben's interview or you and Ben's discussion. You just recorded the screen?
Oh no, I once it posts to Facebook, I use a Facebook downloader. I go to the
okay.
download the video.
Okay, I'm definitely grabbing that and post some content at you real quick. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, what I do is I usually edit it and then put it onto my YouTube channel, and then put it onto the website as well, mrfatz.com.
And then go from there.
Yeah, so obviously this one piece of content then gets used on the YouTube, it's used on the website, it's on the Facebook, and then what I will do is I'll get the golden nuggets from it, chop it up, and then that goes to the Instagram.
Yeah, that's content.
Yeah. I mean, but being in video editing as well, it's so easy for me to just chop it up, add a start to it, add an end to it.
Yeah, it's perfect. And I've been just getting, I don't know, when did you start getting active on Instagram, man? Because it looks like you've been blowing up your feed.
Now he's frozen.
You hear me now?
Oh, blimey.
I came out of nowhere. You can hear me?
Oh dear. Oh dear, it's just me.
What's up? You can hear me. Ouch. That was you.
Okay.
What happened?
Just me. Oh dear.
It's just you? Let me see.
You never look at yourself in the mirror and say, you let you down. Until you get to that point, you let you down. You're not brave enough. You want to put it on somebody else. The reason why I'm not successful is because of my boss. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I'm not getting up on time. I'm not going to work on time. I'm not putting in 120% when I'm at work. I let me down.
I'ma work to my last breath. I'ma hustle to my last breath.